What's up, guys? In this video, I want to talk a little bit about something that's not necessarily related to fitness, but I think is tangentially related to it, which is how you should choose to financially support yourself in the modern world. The time of this recording is 2021, and the world has changed, unfortunately, in large part because of the internet, really. Most recently, because of this pandemic that we were going through, But anyway, it is what it is. And a lot of stuff is going online. College degrees are kind of worthless. So is formal schooling, in my opinion. So I'm going to talk a little bit in this video about what I think you should do instead in order to be able to provide for yourself on a regular basis with the most amount of stability and consistency by taking advantage of the tools that we have available to us today. So back in the day, right, pre-internet, let's call it, or really, I don't know, I want to say pre-internet, let's say pre-social media, right? Pre-social media in the early 2000s, up until the early 2000s, let's say, the model was go to school or go to college, get a job, fucking work, save money, buy a house, and just live that like very basic life where you don't necessarily start a business because it's hard. You don't necessarily try to put your voice out there because somebody needs to put you on network TV, or like you need to get on cable or something like that. Extremely competitive back then because the amount of ways to reach massive amounts of people was so limited. It was TV, it was radio, and it was the fucking newspaper, and that was it. That was all you could really do. So these days, obviously, with the internet, and like I said, more specifically with social media, you have the option to reach basically anybody in the world who has an internet connection. And it's much easier to reach them than ever before. So back in the day, if you wanted to be a singer, if you wanted to be a dancer, if you wanted to be a writer, if you wanted to start a business, the problem is, how are you gonna reach people, right? You couldn't just start a company or like put something on the internet and fucking reach millions of people or billions of people. But now with the internet, that's not really stopping us anymore. Okay, so this old model of like go to college, get a job, fucking work for 50 years, get a pension, retire, doesn't work anymore unless you work for the government. And I wouldn't recommend working for the government either for various reasons. That said, these days, what you're gonna wanna do, in my opinion, is number one, you have to do something online, okay? Have to do something online. Start a business and do something online. Well, really, you can either start a business or you can freelance, right? Freelancing is basically like you pay me for a service, I perform that service for you, and at the end of it, we're done. Maybe you pay me every month, maybe it's a one-off thing, whatever. That's freelancing. That's acceptable as well. Starting a business is different than freelancing because when you start a business, you do it with the intention to grow, right? You're starting something. Yeah, maybe initially you're performing a lot of the work, but the idea is that eventually you will build something that is bigger than yourself, right? You're gonna hire people, you're gonna outsource, you're going to create essentially a system of generating money so that you do not have to, do all the work yourself, basically. Now, before I get into that, I just wanna talk quickly about what this has to do with making money. So, with fitness. Obviously, we know what it has to do with making money. But with fitness, what does it have to do with fitness? Well, in my experience, right, I've had many jobs over the years. I've also made money online in various amounts and with various methods over the years. The times where I've been in the best shape of my life, where it has been the easiest for me to maintain a high level of fitness have been not necessarily where I was making money online, but it has been when I have not had a job, right? Have not had a real physical job that I had to go to every day. So if you can figure out some way to make money without having a job or a business or doing anything, great, more power to you. But for most of us, that's probably gonna be some sort of freelancing gig or some business that we start. And the reason for that is because when you remove the necessity of going and showing up at a physical location for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, 4, 5, 6 days a week, all of that, you're expending a lot less physical energy that you can apply towards working out and towards, focusing on your health, let's call it. And that's really the main reason. So that said, what should you do, in my opinion? Now, this is very interesting to me. I have not had consistent success with this, but I've always been interested in it. To be honest with you, I'm way more interested in this than I am with how much chicken to eat. But most people just want to know, can I eat broccoli? Okay, anyway. So what should you do? Number one, the first thing that you want to do is you want to obviously decide what you want to talk about, right? Should be something that other people care about. You don't have to care about it. It doesn't have to be interesting to you, right? It does not have to be the most interesting thing in the world to you. It has to be something that other people want to know about. You are not doing it to be authentic. You are not doing it to be your best self. You're not doing it to show the world what kind of person you are. You are doing it, whatever you're going to do, you're doing it to solve a problem that other people have, right? You solve that problem for them and you're golden, right? That's all you got to do. Just solve some problem for other people. So in my case, obviously it's fitness, right? I'm not super interested in fitness. I mean, I like it. It's interesting to me, kind of, but it's very basic in my opinion, and it does not require a lot of explanation. And it's like, okay, you get it or you don't. I can write it for you in a paragraph what you need to do. But other people are so interested in it. Oh my God, they want to know everything about it. So that's what I've chosen, just to give you an example, right? So once you've figured out what you want to do, and once you have understood that the goal of your communication should be, when I communicate, when I'm speaking words, when I'm writing words, when I'm making videos, whatever you decide to do, what problem am I solving for them? And how do they solve that problem? That is what you want to explain to them. Here's how you solve this problem. Done. Okay, once you do that, you want to fucking post that shit somewhere where people are interested in that kind of thing, which for now, the current time of this publishing, social media, okay? Facebook groups, YouTube, write a blog, I don't know, what else is there? Twitter, basically anywhere on social media, right? Because that's the social media websites, that's where everybody hangs out. Now I know we just had the issue recently with the election and Donald Trump being removed, and none of us are really that happy with social media, self included. It's disturbing and depressing and I hate it. But, the fact is, you still need it as a part of the daily life that we have, right? It's a necessity at this point. It's not like an option, right? You don't need to use all of them, but you need to use one of them at least to to establish a footprint on the internet, right? Whether you want to make videos or write blog posts or do a fucking podcast or whatever, you need to have some sort of presence on at least one social network. We could talk about which ones are more, better than others, but you need to have some sort of presence on one at least, right? So go on there. And, the way that it used to work, right? When people, when there was no internet, is how would all of these companies reach people, right? If you think about it, think of all of the major brands that you've heard of today that were around before 2005, right? All the major brands that were around before Google, right? Use that as a barometer. For those of you who are even fucking that old, right? Think of Procter and Gamble, Ford, Coca-Cola, all of these companies. How did they get big? TV ads, right? What they did were radio ads before there was TV. But basically, if you had enough money, you could interrupt people while they're watching TV during TV commercials, and everybody's fucking watching TV commercials. You interrupt people during TV commercials and you post your fucking ad for something that most people will like, right? It's not highly specialized. Coke is not highly specialized only for people who like these specific things. No, it's a fucking sugary cola that everybody fucking drinks. So you make a fucking ad about Coke. People are like, oh yeah, I like Coke, or Taco Bell, or McDonald's, or whatever the fuck. All of these companies, they make average things for average people, okay? So that was the old method, right? And this old method has kind of carried over a little bit into the modern day, where people think, okay, I've got this thing, I'm gonna try and reach as many people as possible. I'm gonna try and build this giant company where, my, whatever it is, my widget is gonna be so appealing to everybody and everybody's gonna wanna use it. When in reality, the odds of you making another Uber or Facebook or, Uber or social media site or fucking Google or something like that is pretty much I'm going to say unlikely, but that's not really strong enough of a word. It's pretty much impossible. That's not going to happen, right? So the new method with the internet, because the internet has now, there's no front page of the internet, right? There's no like one website that everybody goes to and everybody gets their information from. And if you interrupt people with ads on that one website, they'll be applicable for everyone. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, these sites have ads, but they're much more targeted, right? Anybody who's ever run online ads for, YouTube or Facebook or whatever, you know that you can choose, you can target based on, interest, based on age, based on whatever, gender, location, right? You can decide exactly the type of person that you want who's interested in these things. And then what you do is you present an ad to them for something that would be interesting to them, right? So for example, let's say I'm trying to promote a group on fasting, right? I have a group that I'm like getting off the ground. It's $20 a month. You get to join the group on, we do fast every week. I post like motivational content, before and after pictures, right? That's the group. It's $20 a month. Am I going to promote that? Should I do a Super Bowl ad? Like if I even had the money for that, would a Super Bowl ad be good for that? No. But like if I had $1 million, should I run a Super Bowl ad or should I spend that $1 million on Facebook ads, for example? Because with Facebook ads, I can target people who are already interested in fasting. I can target people who are interested in exercise, interested in working out, interested in weight loss, who are between 30 and 50 years old, who are female, who are engaged and getting married next month, who have a birthday next month, right? Like you can get super granular with the targeting. So which would be better? Obviously, right? If you think the Super Bowl ad, like, please tell me why, let me know. But in my opinion, and most sane people's opinions, the Facebook ads would be much better, right? So the second step, right? The first step is you decide who you want to make it for, I guess. Identify a group of people that you want to sell to, and then make a product for them or service or something like that, right? Make content for them that can easily lead into some sort of exchange of income. And whereas back in the day, what used to happen is that you would need to interrupt everybody and try and sell everybody something that everybody would want, like McDonald's, like Coca-Cola, like fucking, I don't know, Dial soap, or fucking, what is the other thing? Tide, detergents. Yeah, okay, but like, are you gonna see a Tide detergent ad? Like, is that gonna do any good if you're interested in things that have nothing to do with detergent? Probably not. So these days, instead of interrupting everybody and trying to sell them something, you pick a niche group of people that you want to provide something for, and you design something that would be interesting to them. And then you show it to them. That's it. You don't need to sell it hard. You don't need to promote it hard. You don't need to be like, let's take the fasting thing, for example. I'm not going to go to people and say, oh my God, guys, you got to try this fasting group. It's the most amazing group in the world. You're going to love it. You're going to lose 10 pounds. Like, oh, you should really do it. What do you mean you want to think about it? What do you want to think about? It's like, it's not a hard sell, right? You don't have to scream. You just go and you present it to them. And the people who are interested, because they're already interested in fasting, they've already tried fasting, they're already interested in weight loss. Maybe they've heard of the snake diet guy, right? Maybe they're already like in that world. You just explain it to them, and the ones who are interested will be attracted to you magnetically, right? So that's what I would recommend. That should be a long-term goal for everybody, which is the whole point of my little spiel here. And the reason, like I said, is that you don't want to, the old method doesn't work anymore, okay? Going to college is kind of a waste of time. And, if you're trying to sell something to somebody, don't sell average shit to average people. Specialize, figure out exactly what it is, who you want to help, and then create something that will help them. Okay, so a little bit of a change of pace. And anyway, the reason for all of this is that this will allow you to do it from the comfort of your own home, without having to go to work, without having to have a job, without requiring your physical body to be in any one location at a specific time, working for a paycheck for somebody else, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying there's no good jobs, but if somebody can tell you exactly what to do, if they can write down all of the steps for your job, what you need to do, eventually you're going to be replaced by a machine, by a computer, by an app. So just something to keep in mind. Cool. If you guys like that video, click like. Comments, any and all comments are appreciated as they do help the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you're looking for a guide on how to lose weight quickly, I've got a free one, www.lose10in3days.com. You need the www, but there should be a link in the description. Peace.